Welcome to this week's episode of Forgiving the Girl Inside. I'm your host, Lisa Drennan, client attraction coach, and today I have with me Amber Gilkerson. Welcome, Amber. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me here.
No, I'm so glad to have you. I'm excited for you to share your journey. Amber is going to share her journey today. It's a healing journey from body betrayal to body connection. And she is a chronic pain warrior. She has been through so much physically, and she's going to share today with us how this affects her, not only physically, but emotionally. And for somebody like me who doesn't have chronic pain, this was really an eye opener because you don't understand just because you look at somebody and they look healthy, inside there's all kinds of stuff going on. So, Amber, tell us some more about your journey and yourself.
Well, first of all, again, thank you for being here. And I love what you just said, because just that was, I will be touching upon that, is how people can look so healthy, but be dealing with so much chronically. So as Lisa said, I'm Amber Gilkerson. I'm the owner of Overcoming Starting Over Holistic Health and Self-Advocacy Coaching. I work with what I say is chronic illness warriors. So, and what that encompasses for me is people who are struggling from chronic health conditions, chronic depression, chronic anxiety, and chronic pain. And fatigue can be in there as well. And what I do is I work with chronic illness warriors to reconnect with a body that they feel has betrayed them. So ultimately, we can heal this pain that's residing deep within the mind, body, and spirit. And my personal journey of overcoming starting over, that's where the name of my business came from, is because I believe it is a process of having to start over when you feel so disconnected from your body. And to be completely honest with you, is that my journey started as a child. I was a very highly sensitive child. I would definitely call myself an empathic child. Very sensitive, but because of that, dealt with lots of depression as a young child. Actually, from as far back as I can remember, I dealt with pretty severe depression, which led to pain. Um, and so my first experiences with feeling disconnected really started all the way back then. And then that just kind of kept being perpetuated throughout my life. In middle school, I actually was at the very beginning of online stuff. So online bullying was not even a thing at that time, but I happened to be a victim of severe online bullying, severe. And where it was the first time I had ever had suicidal ideations and so on. So why I'm bringing this up is because that was a major moment of disconnect that happened with me and my also those core beliefs, right, that we hold in ourselves, those negative core beliefs. And it instilled this, that my body, that me, we're not worthy. We're not worthy of having this relationship to ourselves, let alone to anybody else. And truly that continued, and that continued in through high school. I was I was a very active, healthy person, as far as I was into alternative sports, and really loved my horses. I was a barrel racer, and was active in all areas of leadership as well. I was a state ambassador for 4-H and was a DECA president for school. So I was on track for big things for school, and career and all of that. And I was met with another moment of body betrayal of what that felt like. And I was suddenly very sick. I had taken a really nasty fall off of a horse, and it had kind of brought on a lot of pain. But in that, as I was also dealing with a lot of new onsets of illness, which was leading to a whole new different type of body disconnection than I had ever felt before, because I was suddenly limited in all I was able to do. And it actually kept me from graduating high school, was not able to graduate. And in this time, there was a lot of emotional factors too, which I can go into more here in a minute. But
Yeah.
but that is really the foundation of where I was met with body betrayal that fueled this journey to going, now as an adult, this didn't feel right. It wasn't fueling, it wasn't serving me to be disconnected from my body. And I started questioning, what can I do to create a foundation for body reconnection?
Yeah.
And that's
You were
really
so
what,
young when you dealt with all of this. I mean, you're going through, I mean, that's a hard time in life as it is, going through all the emotions of your teen years and dealing with, the dynamics of school and the social life and all that. And then to have that physical pain that, that come upon you, that accident that had happened. So, I mean, and it just kind of caused you to go down further, down the depression road, and like what happened at that time of your life.
yeah. So I had kind of mentioned briefly that there was some emotional stuff that happened right around the same time. So
Mhm.
this is my first time actually sharing this on a public platform. But when I was 17, I actually had an abortion, which I know contributed to a decent amount of physical and emotional pain. And I'm bringing this up in this interview specifically because this is an important part of the reconnection story. And I believe that women who have experienced this feel a very big disconnection from their body, can feel like they've betrayed themselves or whatever this, their higher powers, whatever it might be. There's so many aspects to it.
Yeah.
And what happened in that time, because I had taken the fall, I had been dealing with chronic illness and chronic health conditions, then to have everything kind of detoured right around the same time, to then come out of all of this with finding out that I had been pregnant, it's still, even now as I talk about it, the timelines get very blurred to me, because there was so much catalyzing right at the same time. And it's important to know that in the story is who I did end up getting pregnant by was somebody who I was in a very unhealthy relationship with. He was 17 years older than I was and was very manipulative. And that played on a whole separate set of emotional things that I probably don't have time to get into today. But what it did do for physical pain, and that is what we're here to talk about really, is that it I didn't realize the link that the mind, body, and spirit all work together. And that when I had the abortion, when I had that fall, when I had these traumas as a child, there were all of this was fueling this disconnection. And I wasn't having anything that really showed me that connection or loving myself was possible. And that's really been this journey. It's not just connecting with myself, it's loving myself fully and authentically through all the things that I've been ashamed of, like some of those decisions, those hard decisions, and reframing that with this conscious, beautiful, all-encompassing love. And it's transformative, or been transformative.
Yeah. Wow. What was your so young to go through so much, and you're so strong and confident, and I just love the radiance that you project as you're speaking. And what was the one thing that helped you totally turn around, and instead of, because most people would focus on the negative and be like, oh, they'd act like the victim, poor me, I'm going through all of this. And so what made you just decide, no, I'm not going to fall victim to my circumstances, I'm just going to, be a warrior and move forward?
I love that question. And I think that it is also really important to point out that I was not always this way, that I did fall victim to that mentality of all encompassing failure and disconnect. I have been there and was there up until just a few years ago. I spent a lot of my time battling illness with this disdain for my body. Like, why won't you just get better already? Realizing that wasn't going to be it. And I have to be honest here is that actually how I really started the reconnection process was connecting with a higher power, with my spiritual self, which was not the path I ever thought I was going to take. I thought, it had to be getting counseling help or nutritional help and, personal trainers. And now granted, all those things are part of the team, but I missed the soul connection to myself. And when
Mhm.
I started establishing that, looking to something outside of me, and I look to God, that's what I call it. It can be the universe, creator, whatever it is to anybody who's watching, but that's what I call upon for my strength. And when I started connecting to that, I started connecting to my own worth. and my own love for myself, recognizing that my body was hurting. It was in pain. It was in emotional, physical, and spiritual pain. And
Mhm.
I was, you're there to help your body. You're the one who's closest. You and God are there, to help your body. And I realized I had to get right with that to really start this healing. And it's why spiritual coaching is a part of my programs, is because I really do think it's such an important part. But it works in collaboration with the other holistic pillars, which are your emotional, mental, and physical health. So it's important to have all of them on sturdy ground. And for me, it was the spiritual to start.
I love that. I love how you're connecting the three, because like, our human bodies, like you can't do, if you don't take care of yourself physically, it affects you emotionally. And if you don't take care of yourself emotionally, it affects you spiritually. So like it's all connected. But a lot of times when someone's physically ill, they'll go and they'll try to get help for it. And it's like, oh, take this pill, do this pill, do that. And then you're really not getting to the root of the problem. So getting
Yeah.
to the root cause of the problem and digging deep down, um, and there are the physical elements. I mean, there are obstructions, there are things in our bodies that need repair. That I had surgery on January 7th. It needed to be done. And once I had the surgery, a lot of my pain, 99% of my pain was gone. And I was thinking, I was sitting in church this morning, and I was sitting down, like when before my surgery, when I sat down, I would get like this pain, this shooting pain in my lower back area. And today I was able to sit through the whole entire sermon and I had no pain whatsoever. And I'm like, wow, this is so awesome. So it was fantastic. So there are times in our lives, like, I know some people that are in our field, the holistic field, they're like, oh no, don't get surgery, your body and this and that. And it's like, if you need surgery, you need surgery. So I'm glad that you have that mindset that it's all connected and you need to get into the root. So tell us about some of the holistic healing modalities that you incorporate.
Yeah, absolutely. Because that's just it, is that I want to say that too, is as somebody who really identifies with holistic lifestyle, I'm also have a science mind and am very much connected to it's so funny. I joke. I'm like, I can be so woo woo, but I can be so scientific too. you know, um, and so what I like about that though is that there's a real complementary need for Western medicine and this preventative Eastern style medicine, holistic remedies, right? And it's important not to discount one. They work together, but Western medicine is more emergent, and it's important to understand that it's emergent medicine, not preventative medicine. And really for holistic modalities, for me, is again, it started with lifestyle. I started with the lifestyle modalities, but how I translate that into my programs is I've taken it. So I naturally did energy healing for myself, but I actually went and learned and studied with Reiki masters who are on the direct lineage of Usui Reiki from Japan. And so I bring that into my practice, but it is important to know I actually don't do Reiki on humans. It's what I do is I incorporate that energy in the design of my programs and how I show up for you as a coach. But it's partially because it takes a lot from me to do Reiki for people. So just to caveat that, but how I work in my programs truly is I work from a foundational point of view. If you've never worked from a holistic management perspective, it can feel a little bit intimidating. I think there's a lot built up around that. And so establishing this foundation of holistic health with these holistic health management pillars that are rooted in bioindividuality are really a key aspect to my programs, because I want people with chronic health conditions to really have a foundation to live life and thrive and not be trying to fake it till they make it. I want them to heal
That's
until
the
they
worst.
thrive.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so really right now, I bring that holistic perspective. I'm a graduate from the Institute for Integrative Nutrition. I bring in those coaching techniques that I've learned. I also use an intuitive approach. I would call myself an intuitive coach at times because I tend to just let things as the universe tells me what's happening, I tell you, and we work in connection with one another to help get you the best results for you. And so that's, again, I can, as much as I can be woo woo, I also love my science. So I love bringing I love blending the two, because I see so many people that they're all or nothing on either end of the spectrum. And I
Yeah.
don't want that. I want connection and healing that is in all areas of life, but also is in all areas of medicine, so that you can have the best chance for thriving health. Because
Yeah.
when you're dealing with chronic health conditions, you do need Western medicine at quite a few different times. You will need them. So don't want to discourage people from going to see them.
Yeah.
But be discerning. But be discerning.
Exactly. Yeah. Know, what you need to know before you go, so that you get your questions answered, and you do have all possible choices available to you, so that you know that you're making the right choice. Yeah.
1000%.
That
Be
is so
discerning.
important. Yeah, a lot of people will go and like, well, the doctor said I needed to do this, and it's like, okay, well, is there another alternative? Like, can I do something else? And yeah, so I love that you combine those two, and that is incredible. And you have this amazing program that you have. So tell us a little bit more about that. I know you mentioned it briefly.
Yeah.
So you have a Facebook group. I know that, and
Hmm.
I like how it's customized each individual. So you connect with the person, and based on, the conversation, you come up with modalities specific to them. So it's not like a one size fits all. Can you tell us more
It's
about that?
absolutely. So my program is called Your Foundation to Body Reconnection, and it's a 4-month program, or 16 weeks. And what we do is we break down what I call my 4 R's of reconnection. And these are the 4 R's that I use repeatedly all the time to recenter myself into connection. And they are rest, reset, reflect, and reconnect. And I'm telling you this because what we do is we break this down. That's why it's 4 months, is we break them down throughout the 4 pillars. But in the program, you also are getting a true foundation. So each week you're getting you're getting module courses that are breaking down how to build a foundation to living life as a chronic illness warrior. Because what I know as somebody with chronic health conditions is that even if you go through this program, flares still happen. It's not a one and done. Things happen. Your body, has to reset when you're dealing with chronic health conditions. But I wanted something that would work every single time to help get you back on track, that you could keep doing. And so at this program, you gain lifetime access to it. So once you've got it, you do have lifetime access to it. And what Lisa was talking about the bio individuality, is while the structure of the program is the same, is as we work the program, we work it in a way that is very individual to you. I don't have a set diet that I give everybody. I don't have a set workout plan. I don't have a set, lifestyle or spiritual practice for everybody. I have outlines for how to establish it for you, because it's you. We want healing on a bio-individual level for you that honors every aspect of your authenticity and your body's individual needs, because you won't ever fully reconnect if you're trying to reconnect to somebody else's body.
Yeah,
We
absolutely.
want
I
you
love
to
that. I
reconnect to
love that.
yours. And so and so that's what I do. And I love setting up that foundation to body reconnection, because as I said, it works every single time. And I'm living proof of that. I literally implement exactly what I teach. I am a chronic illness warrior. I actively have chronic health conditions. Heck, I'm going in for a surgery consult next month. So, I mean, it's how do you live in balance and in partnership with
Mhm.
this disease? And how do you live this thriving life? And all I can say is balance is possible with a good foundation.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's beautiful. And thank you so much for sharing that. And, I can't wait until people connect with you. And I know so many people who have chronic illness that they just suffer so greatly. And, it keeps them in bed and keeps them isolated from everyone else, because they're just in so much pain. And especially living where I live in upstate New York, and it's cold. And I think the cold makes the pain worse, because your bones are so cold all the time. And, when you're hurting physically and you just don't have the modality to implement it, it seems like it 10x's that pain. So
I absolutely think it can. I live in Washington, which is ironic, but I think it doesn't get too hot, but we also, where I live in Washington, it's never quite too cold. So it kind of stays in that little in between, which I do
mhm.
appreciate.
Yeah. I know when people have arthritis that hot weather is really good for them. So
It
I'm a hot
is.
weather girl, so I'm not quite sure why I'm still in upstate New York, but that's another story for another day.
Oh my goodness. I did want to make sure to tell anybody who's watching too, if you're looking for support right now and in your journey with chronic health conditions and you know, are wanting that support, I do have a Facebook group that people can come
Mhm.
join. It's the Overcoming Starting Over community on Facebook. I call it a home for chronic illness warriors. And you can always add me as a personal friend on Facebook. I love having you be a part of my community. I host a Warrior Wednesday every Wednesday on my personal Facebook page at noon. So that is every week I'm going live. And so if you're looking for support right now, you have it. You don't have to be working with me as a coach to get it right now, but I would love to be a part of your one-on-one journey for anybody who's watching and needs that support right now. It's there.
Yes, definitely. Yes. And we're going to have that link in the comments below. So if you are, well, thank you so much, Amber, for taking the time to be here and to share your story. And I'm just really excited for people to get connected with you. And if you are a person who is dealing with chronic illness, you need to connect with Amber. She's got all these freebies she's giving. She's got the weekly Wednesday thing that you can go to and attend and get started on your journey to healing yourself physically and reconnect with your body. So be sure to click on the link below, join her Facebook group, and connect with her directly so that you can learn more about her program and stop living in that place where you're just struggling. You're not alone. She is your expert holistic coach that can help you through this. So definitely connect. And if you know anybody that it would benefit from her services, please share the video and be sure to hit the subscribe button and tap the bell to be notified. Every week on Tuesdays, a new episode of Healing Journey um, is aired. And then daily, there's tipping coaches and things by yours truly. So be sure to subscribe. Have an amazing day.